there, Walking Dead fans. This is Westatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at The Walking Dead's Merle Dixon action figure. This is based on the television show The Walking Dead from AMC, and it is made by McFarlane Toys. These just started hitting shelves, and so far as I know, they've only been reported being seen at GameStop. I actually was able to get mine from GameStop.com, and by ordering through them, not only did I save a little cash, it also had free shipping, so it was only $12.99. So instead of ordering the whole set like I was going to for Big Bad Toy Store, which came out to $13.50 a figure before shipping, I got both Merle and Michonne, the ones I wanted the most, for $26 total. So that seemed like a really good enough not to pass up. So packaging on these is very minimal, which I like. I don't like a lot of waste with the packaging, because I don't want to throw away that much resources. Looks really, really nice. On the front here, we've got the show logo and McFarlane Toys up here in the corner. Down here at the bottom, we've got a shot of, I suppose it's supposed to be the action figure, but to be honest, in terms of like paint job and sculpt and everything, the figure looks better than their proto picture in that spot, at least. On the back, we've got the cross cells for the other figures in the wave. Pet 1 and 2, Michonne, Autopsy Zombie, and here's Merle. And the paint job is better on that one, but still. Down here we just have general crap. Nice packaging, nothing crazy. It keeps the aesthetic from the show. Looks good. Let's get him out and see what he looks like. So here's Merle out of package, and I gotta say, this is easily the best looking series for one, but possibly the best looking figure I've seen to date from McFarlane. This is series 3, and just head to toe, they've just absolutely nailed this figure. It doesn't mean it's not without its share of problems, but in terms of being on the right track, McFarlane's definitely there. They did a lot of things right. So let's start right in. Move in just a scotch so we can get some light on this face. Look at that. Look at that sculpt of Michael Rooker. Just absolutely incredible. Now, they've been known to do, real scan technology and everything, to capture the look of the actor perfectly. But this is the first time I've actually seen that come together with paint to actually be perfect. I mean, it looks fantastic. The hair, the curliness, the kind of shaved look in the back here. You see that there's a lot of like skin tone paint coming through there. The 5 o'clock shadow on the front, just absolutely perfect for Michael Rooker. It looks exactly like him. They did an amazing job. I can't stress enough how good this figure looks. The shirt, very nicely detailed. It's tan, but it's got a little bit of a wash on it to kind of just bring out like those dirty details. You see that on the back especially? It just adds so much reality, so much depth to the look of the figure. Absolutely awesome. The pegs in the shoulders, unfortunately, are not painted. You can't really see it so much in there. Hang on just a second. There we go. That should keep the camera from moving as much. But like this peg here, you can see that that's actually skin tone plastic. That's really the only place you can see it. Like, you can't really see it too much over here or anything. But well, still, hang on. Okay, I think that's better. So back to the look. His undershirt is actually textured a little bit through here, and you can see the paintwork is really nice on that too. They really kind of brought out that dingy look. You can see, the difference right here if you peel the side of the shirt back. You can see there's not quite as much paint, and how the sculpt only goes over to the point of the shirt, which I think is kind of funny. But very, very, very nice. Pouches on the leg, which I assume would be M16 magazine pouches. Very, very nice. The pants sculpted wonderfully. You can see the seams everywhere. The seams are just running all over the place. They look great. Nice contours down here. Great texturing, great paint. And then the boots, there's even like mud on the front of the boots where you would, kick things the most. Very, very nice. The laces are well done. The bottom isn't really sculpted. It's sort of flat, and there's no peg holes. So, if you want to put them in any really crazy dynamic pose, that may limit you a little bit. But for the most part, I haven't had a whole lot of trouble with that just yet. But before we get into that, let's take a look at some of the accessories. He comes with an M16 or AR-15 or whatever it is. I said before I don't know M16 variants, but it is just an M16. It's got an M4 style stock, which would be adjustable, but is not on the figure. So, looks very nice. It's to scale. It looks great. I have no complaints with this. I like the weathering that they did on the magazine here, on the buttons, on everything. It looks really, really nice. There may be a little too much in certain spots just because those parts are supposed to be like polymer or plastic instead of metal, but that's a small thing. The sling here is actually separate from the gun. You can see it rotates here, and it rotates on the barrel. So whenever he's actually holding it, you can push that whole thing down so that it hangs a little more naturally, so it doesn't look like a crazy toy action figure thing where it sticks up in the air while he's shooting, which is kind of cool. So, we've got that. We've got his... Oh, I just dropped it. His, what I would like to call a pig sticker. And for such a small knife, it does actually have some nice details. You can see on the back side, if I can hold that up, you see that? It's a blood groove on the back. Very cool. Nicely painted grip there, with even a little weathering. Very, very cool. And this is a really, really small knife. I mean, this is a 5-inch figure, so... this being this small, I'm actually shocked that they were able to get it to fit into his hand. McFarlane's notorious for not having weapons fit in hands right. But if you put it in there, it'll kind of just set, which is good enough. But you can see where his trigger finger sticks up. You can kind of turn the knife just a scotch and get there you go, the guard into that groove there, and then that knife's not going anywhere. So very, very cool. I really, really dig that. That's awesome. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any storage for that on his person. I assume this over here is supposed to be his knife sheath, but it's filled. It's not, can't put anything in it. It's just a solid piece of plastic. On his hip here, for one, we have a very cool holster, which I very much dig. But if you pull out his gun, he has a 1911. Which was like the sidearm from World War II for U.S. soldiers. Very, very cool. Nicely weathered again. They went with brown grips, which looks great. They could have just left those black if they wanted, and probably nobody would have said anything, but they did paint it, and it adds a lot of realism to the piece, which I think is very cool. And this actually does fit in his hand really nicely. If you put that in, you turn it, his finger goes right into the trigger guard. Very, very cool. And he looks great posing with it. Very, very cool. The M16 I haven't been able to get to look quite as good, mostly because it is a two-handed rifle, and as you can see, Merle doesn't exactly have two hands anymore. Yeah, that's a bummer, but that does look really good. I didn't really get a good shot of that before. How cool that looks. I mean, they even got the brace that goes all the way up under his sleeve. Very awesome. But yeah, the rifle, you can kind of get it across his chest and stuff, and he can sort of balance it if you can get the posing just right, because you have to kind of work with it a little bit. So stick his arm out a little bit. It takes a little bit of work. You can get it to sit in both hands, but it's a bit of a pain. If they cut back the shirt just a little bit on this arm, you see how it's cut up in the front to allow for good forward movement. And when you turn to the side, it kind of starts to come down a little bit like that. So that's a bit of a bummer. But it's not the end of the world. I think he looks better with his pistol, and because he's got this sling, you can sling it over his back, and he looks really cool that way. So since we've been talking about articulation, let's get into that. We have got a great ball-jointed neck. So we've got great side-to-side action, so he got a huge amount of personality. Of course, he can look left and right and everything. Up pretty far, all things considered. Down pretty far, too. Great, great ball-jointed neck. McFarlane's been doing pretty good with those for a while now. We've got swivel hinge shoulders, which go about perfectly lateral, almost, on this side, and a little hindered on this side. And of course, swivel all the way around if you needed to do that. Swivel hinge elbows, which you can see do have his ratchet joint in it, which doesn't actually ratchet in this case, it's there. About 90 degrees on this side, a little bit more actually. And on this side, I think it's a little less, but pretty close. No swivel or anything here. These are, swivels in the elbows, but no swivel in the wrist. We've got on this side a hinge in the wrist, which allows it to go in and out very, very far. And then we've got a swivel on top of that. So if you do have him with his rifle, that once you get the arm up like this, being able to push it up and down can kind of help position it, which is cool. He's got a swivel in the waist, and the holster here is actually glued to the belt. So when you turn it, the holster will stay in the same spot. I would just say be careful, because this is tough plastic here, and this is, just glued on. When you start turning this way, you are bumping up against it, so just be careful to make sure you don't pop it off. It's a little bit easier because this is a little softer plastic, but still same deal. So just watch out for that. We've got, McFarlane does this kind of weird double ball jointed hip. It's kind of strange. There's basically like a ball that just sticks down into the leg like that, which allows it to kind of do weird poses. Like it can go forward a little bit, back decently. You can see it's kind of curved up in there. It doesn't go out very far. Very limited on the outward motion. So that kind of stinks. But it's not bad. It's sort of almost like a V-joint, like you can turn it a little bit like that, and see how it goes a little further out, and then you can kind of screw with the leg, try and get what you want out of it. They did design that joint to be hidden in the knee, so when you are starting to turn this, that knee joint can get in the way a little bit, at least the part where they designed to cover it. The knees are on swivel hinges, so they get pretty decent range for a McFarlane toy especially. Pretty close to 90 degrees, not perfect, but not bad. And of course the swivel action in there too, so you can get some nice poses. And then the feet are ball jointed, so they go forward, back, side to side a little, not a ton, but some. Same on both feet. So yeah, very, very nice figure. $13. Let's talk about what you get for $13. You get probably the best looking action figure McFarlane has made to date for the movie series, or the TV show series. I'm a big fan of the comic figures, even though Michonne doesn't have ankle joints, which always bugs me. But you can see him in comparison to Rick here from the comic series. Right in scale, right height and everything. Yeah, awesome action figure. So you get Merle, you get his pig sticker, his pistol, his rifle. You get pretty decent articulation. You get a great paint job, awesome sculpt. $13, not bad, I gotta say. If these were getting up into the $15 range, that might be kind of expensive because it is only a 5-inch figure, and NECA can sell 7-inch figures for $15 and get away with it. I don't know how they do it, but they can. But for mass retail, that's a pretty good deal, $13. I don't have a whole lot bad to say about this figure. Even his hips, which are super limited, I may be able to fix those if I do a boil and pop and just kind of see what kind of plastic is up in there and what's blocking it. So I may be able to fix that and take this from being a great action figure to a perfect action figure. Because right now, he is darn near perfect. He looks that good. If you're a Walking Dead fan, you absolutely have to have this figure on your shelf. That's really all I can say about it. Definite buy. They are showing up at GameStops. Go out, grab yours now, and we'll be back soon with a Michonne review. We'll take a look at her too. So, thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, anything you want to know at all, please put it in the box below, and I'll do my best to respond to you as soon as possible. And that's it. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.